Welcome back, friends. So glad you could join me here in my kitchen. My name is Vicki-Lynne and this is Cooking Vegan with Vicki. Today we're going to be making some cauliflower tacos. I posted a couple of pictures a couple of weeks ago on Facebook and Instagram and everybody was asking me for the recipe. So decided to do a video for everybody and I'll have the recipe down below. And before we finish and start getting started here, I want to remind you, if you're enjoying my recipes and my videos, please hit the subscribe button. Give it a big thumbs up, share it with a friend, or make it for somebody that you love and show people how great vegan food can be. So the first thing we're going to start is we're going to make our batter. And there's different ways to make this batter. I'm starting with just all-purpose flour. You can make it gluten-free. You could also use rice flour if you'd like. And then we're going to add our seasoning. So I highly season this part of the batter because I want that flavor to come through. We're also going to top it off with a really nice cilantro crema and some pico de gallo, a little bit of shredded up cabbage, and some radishes. So to the flour, I'm going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder. This is actually granulated garlic. I do try to use mostly stuff without the salt in it so I can control the salt. And speaking of my favorite friend, salt is next up, and I'm also going to add a teaspoon of salt. And again, we just want to make sure that this batter is very flavorful. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of paprika, and this is a smoked paprika. You could use regular, and I'm actually going to do about half a teaspoon of that. Also going to add in some onion powder. This is pretty easy. It's like a teaspoon of everything. Okay. And then I'm going to add in just a little sprinkle of some turmeric, just to give it a little bit of color. Ooh. And we're going to add in some cayenne pepper. Now, you add what you like. That's probably like 1/4 of a teaspoon. We're just going to mix all of our ingredients together. And now I'm going to add 1 cup of water. You could also use club soda. That would make it a lighter batter on it. But because we're just lightly tossing this in the batter, we just want a little bit of coating. Now, if you wanted to skip this step, you could just take all of the seasonings and you could just mix it up, toss in your cauliflower, and just roast your cauliflower that way. Again, with all my recipes, just take what you want, leave what you don't, and make it your own. Now, so we're going to get this nice batter going. We're just going to smooth it out. It's almost the consistency of a pancake batter, and that's what we want. We want thick enough to stick to the cauliflower. I'm actually going to add in a few shots of hot sauce. And that's my oven telling me it's been preheated to 450. So we are all set to go. So now we're just going to put our batter ahead. Let me just make some room. Everybody can see what's going on. And now we're just going to take our cauliflower and we're going to make it almost like wings. I like to make it a little bit smaller for the tacos, so that it fits nicely in the tortilla. Okay, so I'm just going to cut up the cauliflower. And also, the smaller you cut it, the faster it will cook. And you can tell with a very hot oven, this is should cook very quickly. I'm hoping for about 20 minutes, but we'll see how things go. You want it to be nice and tender. And everybody's oven is a little bit different. So, I think we're ready to get started with the whole battering part. A few more. Now, if anybody else has any great recipes for me using cauliflower, happens to be one of my favorite vegetables, leave me a comment below. If you have any thoughts, any questions about anything, I'll see if I can answer it. If I can't, I'm sure I know somebody who can. All right, so we're going to put in our cauliflower. And then I have my pan with a silpat on it. You could use parchment paper if you want. And you know I use my silpats because look how well used they are. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to stir the batter onto the cauliflower. So also remember, we put hot sauce in there, some cayenne pepper. Don't be touching your eyes. That won't be fun. And we just want to really coat the cauliflower just to give it it's a very light coating, just to give it, add some flavor to that cauliflower. Okay. And now we're just going to transfer, we're going to just drain this a little bit and put our cauliflower in the pan. Okay. Just dab it off. It's still really goopy. It's just going to gather on the pan anyway, so it's not a really big deal. It'll cook. There we go. Well, this smells good already, so that's half the battle. And it's going to taste fabulous when we're done. You want to try to spread everything out so things aren't really touching too much. Be easier when we toss them over. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the oven at 450 degrees for about 20 minutes, and then I will check it. After about 10-15 minutes, I am going to turn it over and let it brown on the other side. Okay, so the cauliflowers come out of the oven, and I'm just actually going to warm up the tortillas. So these are corn tortillas. I'm just using my flat top. We actually have an electric stove here. If you have a gas stove, that's even more optimal for doing the tortillas. Just turn on your gas stove, put a very low flame, and you're just going to put your tortillas on there and let them kind of toast a little bit and get a little charred. That's actually the best way, but we don't have that here. So I'm just going to be using this. We're going to warm it up, and then we're going to assemble everything together. I'm just going to grab the cauliflower. So now it's come out of the oven, it's roasted and tender. Oh, there we go. So now we're getting all set. Let me grab this one. Okay, so now we're going to add our cauliflower. Do as much or as little as you want. I like cauliflower, so I'm going to put lots on there. Then I'm going to take our crema. So a little bit of our cabbage. And our pico de gallo. So this is, pico de gallo is basically like fresh salsa. So I'll do another video with that coming up, but it's pretty simple. And we're just going to put a little pico de gallo on there. All the lovely colors. I'm going to do a little bit of pickled onion, just because I like the flavor of that. And some shaved radishes. Like the Mexican flag, we have our red and our green and our white. And just going to top it off with the pen. And there you have it. We have our cauliflower tacos. Try this out. Put any suggestions below, and we'll see you next time. Bye.